I really enjoy dreaming up an expedition like this, a challenge, and then starting it, because starting is one of the toughest things.
On June 15th, Laval St. Germain embarked on another voyage of a lifetime.
It was a solo ocean row Atlantic from the mainland of Canada to the mainland of Europe. So I left Halifax, Nova Scotia, specifically the Royal Nova Scotia Yacht Squadron on June 15th. And 53 days and a few hours later, I washed up on the shores of Brest, France.
Laval is no stranger to adventures of epic proportions, but this endeavor was a whole new experience.
I wanted to do something where I was really stepping outside my comfort zone, and I wanted to use that as a metaphor for Alberta cancer patients dealing with cancer.
Dubbed the Confront Cancer Ocean Row, Laval is raising funds for the Alberta Cancer Foundation.
With the money that Laval has raised so far, over $52,000, all the money that he's raising will come back to clinical trials. Here at the Alberta Cancer Foundation, we have committed to $10 million over the next 5 years to support clinical trials. We want to be the leading clinical trial people across the world with the research and the information that we can kind of pass on and be able to offer different treatment options for patients.
Once at sea, Laval was on his own to row 4,500 kilometers across the Atlantic. The journey was filled with some amazing moments as well as some challenging days.
I think it's a bit of a metaphor for cancer patients as well, probably. So you go through these storms, and then the sun comes up the next day and you have one of the most spectacular rowing days, or 3 days or 4 days of rowing, then another storm hits, and that's just what you go through, up and down, and it certainly made the lows are pretty low, but the highs are even higher.
Weeks ahead of schedule, with his wife waiting and watching, Laval rowed his way into Brest, France.
It was pretty cool. He had talked to some sailors that were out on the water, and I thought I was just going to be standing kind of on the dock waiting, but they had come in after speaking with him, and they took me out to where he is, and we followed him in. He looked pretty healthy, he looked pretty strong. He wasn't, I thought he'd be a little more spent, but he seemed really good and in good spirits, and he was laughing and kind of carrying on. And then as soon as he got in and came out of the boat, I realized how his legs weren't working that well at all, and he looked like a drunken sailor. He was wobbling all over the dock. It was pretty funny. Yeah, I'll never forget how that kind of worked out so nicely.
Yeah, it was a special moment.
It was pretty cool, yeah.
Laval is already hitting the gym and looking forward to his next adventure.
I've got a lot of ideas with respect to big iconic trips, or just my regular trips. It depends what you mean, but I like to do some stuff maybe up in Jasper before the snow flies. I'd like to maybe run the length of the island of Corsica, the Mediterranean. There's the largest sand desert in the world on the Arabian Peninsula called the Rub al Khali, or the Empty Quarter. I'd like to cross that on a fat bike. And then of course I'd like to finish my 7th summit, which is the highest peak in Antarctica, Vincent. And when I get older, I might ski to the North Pole, maybe the South Pole. So there's always something.
To learn more about Laval and his fundraising efforts, you can check out lavalstgermain.com or confrontcanceroceanrow.com. For Go in Calgary, I'm Karin Koppitz.